Hello, everyone, and I hope you're keeping well in these still very desperate times. I do know how hard it is. The recent survey that many of you completed for BACTA painted a truly desperate situation for our sector. Revenues down on average, about 60%, but greater in some cases, and jobs are being lost. And costs continue to run at least 50% for most businesses. And I know nearly a year after this crisis started just how difficult it's going to be for the next 3 months just to hang on and hopefully get to a point where the country can start to relax its restrictions and get the economy going again. Our job at BACTA is to do everything we possibly can to keep everyone just clinging to that cliff face for as long as we possibly can and retain a sense of optimism that we will get open and things will return to normal and our businesses will begin to see some income flowing again. And there is optimism. I'm sure all of you are very close to the news and appreciate that the vaccination program is going very well, and hopefully by mid-March we will have 15 million of our most vulnerable citizens vaccinated. And we will look to the 22nd of February for the Prime Minister to announce some relaxation in those restrictions sooner rather than later. And of course our eyes have to be on Easter for our seaside members. We cannot go another season without that really, really important bank holiday weekend and the 2 weeks around it. And we're making that point very clearly to government as we speak. But we have to be realistic, and I do keep computing the numbers time and time again and think, yeah, there's a chance we'll get open at Easter, but we may not. And I think it's important for all of us to plan for the worst and hope for the best. We continue, of course, to press government on all our asks. The next key date after the week commencing February the 22nd, when we should have a clear idea of when we're opening, in England at least, is the budget on March the 3rd. Some of our asks are likely to be revealed then. Our 5% request for VAT for seaside arcades. Similarly, our request that the rates relief that has currently been applicable to retail, leisure and hospitality is extended, at least for a few more months, or at least tapered down. And crucially, we've said time and time again that we must find a way to support the supply chain, and this would be the best way to do it. We're also looking for an extension of the job retention scheme. I don't think anybody can face the prospect of a April 31st cliff edge. I'm sure government understands that. They understood that last year. So one hopes that they will see sense and allow that to be tapered down as the economy gets going again. I have high hopes for that. We're also pressing very, very hard for our AGC members to be classed as non-essential retail. If we do roll back through the tiering systems, and this is true for England, Scotland and Wales, we want to make sure that we are open alongside other non-essential retail. It is ludicrous that AGCs are the only venue on the high street that has had to keep its shutters down when non-essential retail has been allowed to open. It is just plain stupid. And we've made that point again time and time again, and I can see no logic for that request to be denied, other than somebody just can't be bothered to get hold of this particular issue, take ownership of it and make the necessary adjustments to the legislation. And can I also say that we are pushing very, very hard to get additional support for our supply chain. We're not alone. Every sector of the economy has got exactly the same problem. The government seems to think, and governments should I say, seem to think that they have recognised the supply chain through the discretionary grant funding that they've put the way of local councils up and down the United Kingdom. But clearly it's not enough, and as I said earlier, we really do need to see that rates relief extended across all supply chains to provide some meaningful help to to this part of our economy, because without it, how is the economy going to rebound as well as it needs to? Supply chains are crucial, and if they're not there, if businesses have gone bust, if they can't invest, support the supply chain with credit, then the economy is going to be significantly restrained. And that, again, seems to me to be plain stupid. Can I also now turn to perhaps a slightly happier initiative of Bacta's over the past few days? You may well have seen on Monday we launched Miles for Smiles, and all we're asking Bacta members to do is to, well, lose a few pounds. I'm sure we've all put a couple or two of those on over the course of lockdown, certainly since Christmas. And here's an opportunity to get on your bike, get your boots on and go for a walk, use your rowing machine, do some aerobics, run a marathon, whatever it is, and record every mile that you do. Book it into our Miles for Smiles website. That will get converted into Smile Miles. And at the end of March, so you've only got 2 months to go, at the end of March we'll see who's covered the greatest distance for charity, because what we want you to do is get sponsored for every single one of those miles, and at the end of March get your sponsors to make that donation to the Bacta Charitable Trust, and we can then use that money, as we have done in the past, to make some very important donations to some great charities and bring some smiles to the faces of some of the beneficiaries of whichever charity it happens to be. So if you're interested, contact me or contact Steph Norbury. Look at the Facebook page as well, where you'll see our very own industry Mr. Motivator, Tony Glanville, giving you a few words of wisdom and some encouragement to get going and get some exercise and help charity. Thank you very much, and I wish you all well. Let's hope we're open soon, and stay safe.